AI lawsuits are flying these days, and we've got kind of a tech showdown brewing.
Yeah, it's a hot topic for sure right now. I mean, especially with generative AI, all these legal questions popping up.
Well, today we're going to focus on Perplexity AI, that buzzy search engine startup.
Yeah.
They use AI to answer your questions, and they've landed themselves in not one, but two big legal battles. This could really shake things up in the AI world.
Two lawsuits, huh? That's pretty noteworthy. Sounds like some classic intellectual property stuff, but with a real AI spin to it.
For sure. So let's break down these lawsuits. First up, trademark infringement. There's another company, Perplexity Solve Solutions. They're based in Texas,
Yeah.
specialize in HR software, and they're saying this AI startup is, well, legally stepping on their toes.
Right, a classic trademark battle. It's all about like brand identity, making sure there's no confusion in the market. So Perplexity Solve Solutions, they trademarked Perplexity way back in 2022, specifically for their HR software. That means they've got the exclusive right to use that name for, commercial purposes for those specific services.
And it gets even more interesting, right? Because both companies kind of work in similar areas. So
Yeah.
Perplexity solves solutions. Their softwares for, communication and collaboration within businesses. And that overlaps with what Perplexity AI does, like their Spaces feature.
Yeah, that overlap is key. Imagine you're a customer looking for some HR software, and you see these two companies, same name, both offering communication and collaboration tools. I mean,
Sure.
it's easy to see how someone could get confused.
Totally. And get this, Perplexity AI, they knew about this trademark already. They even had a chance to buy the rights to the name Perplexity, but they said, no thanks.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's a bold move. Declining to buy the rights maybe means they thought using Perplexity wouldn't be a problem, wouldn't be infringement. But a court might see it as, well, a pretty big gamble.
So, like, worst case scenario, what happens if Perplexity AI loses? Do they have to, like, rebrand everything?
They might have to. A court could say, nope, you can't use Perplexity anymore. And that would be, I mean, a huge setback, right? Especially after they've built so much hype around that name. Rebranding is expensive, takes forever. And then there's damages potentially to Perplexity Solve Solutions for, any financial harm. They could even lose their domain names.
Wow, that's high stakes.
Yeah.
Okay, lawsuit number two. This one is a little different. It involves Dow Jones, so the parent company of the Wall Street Journal and the New York Post. They're suing Perplexity AI for something called tarnishment.
Okay, so this is where things get really interesting. Tarnishment in trademark law. It means you're damaging a brand's reputation by linking it to something bad or, low quality. It's all about protecting that brand value, that image they've built up.
And I'm guessing this is where those AI hallucinations we keep hearing about come into play, where AI systems just spit out bad information and they sound so confident about it.
Exactly. So the lawsuit is saying that Perplexity AI is like making up stuff and then saying, oh, the Wall Street Journal and the New York Post said this. You're a reader. You trust these publications, right? They're supposed to be accurate. And then you see them cited for something totally bogus. That could make you think, wait, can I trust them anymore?
It's like if I started quoting Einstein to back up some crazy idea like, I don't know, the earth is flat or something. Makes Einstein look bad, right?
Precisely. The Wall Street Journal, the New York Post, they've worked hard to build a reputation for, good journalism, integrity. If they're suddenly linked to fake news, even if it's not their fault, it hurts their brand, hurts that hard-earned reputation.
So it's like a double whammy, right? One lawsuit about the name Perplexity and the other about, potentially hurting the reputation of these big media companies. It feels like as AI gets, more advanced, we're going to see all these new legal issues popping up.
Yeah, absolutely. And these cases, they show something really important. AI companies, even, exciting new ones, they can't just ignore intellectual property rights. And that means trademarks and copyrights, right?
Mhm.
Just because something is like out there on the internet doesn't mean it's a free-for-all.
It's a good point. I mean, the law is always playing catch up, right?
Yeah.
Especially with something moving as fast as AI. These lawsuits, I mean, they could set some big precedents, for how AI companies are held responsible for how their systems use information and how they, like, attribute it, I guess.
Totally agree. And it's not just about staying out of trouble legally. It's about like building trust with users, respecting the intellectual property of, well, the people who made the content that these AI systems are learning from. AI can totally revolutionize how we find information, but it has to happen within, ethical and legal boundaries.
Right. It's like this balancing act.
Yeah.
We want to encourage innovation, push the limits of what AI can do, but we can't just throw out, like, established legal principles or the rights of creators and businesses.
For sure. And these cases bring up some really hard questions, like how do we balance, the need for AI systems to learn from all this data, these massive data sets, with protecting the intellectual property rights of, well, the people who created that data in the first place?
It's almost like a philosophical question, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to take these, like, centuries-old ideas about ownership and who created something and apply them to these new technologies that learn and create in ways that, honestly, we're still trying to wrap our heads around.
Exactly. And that's what makes this whole thing so interesting. We have to think about, like, what is creativity? What is ownership? What does responsibility even mean in a world where, AI is more and more a part of everything?
So thinking about, those tough questions, what could Perplexity AI have done differently to, I guess, avoid these legal issues?
Well, it's easy to say in hindsight, right? But, a couple things jump out. First, like super thorough trademark searches. Before you launch anything, a product, a service, you got to make absolutely sure the name you've chosen, the brand, it's not stepping on anyone's toes, legally speaking. That means looking at trademark databases, talking to lawyers, doing your homework.
Yeah, so a little due diligence up front could have saved them a lot of trouble down the road.
Definitely. And remember, they knew about this other Perplexity trademark and decided not to buy the rights. That might come back to bite them.
What else could they have done differently?
Well, having really solid ways to attribute content, that's key. When an AI system creates something based on existing sources, you got to cite those sources accurately and transparently. It's not just about avoiding copyright problems. It's about respecting the work of, the people who created that original content.
It's like giving credit where credit's due. Right.
Right.
Even if the AI is doing the heavy lifting, it's still building on what humans have done.
Exactly. When you're clear about where information comes from, it builds trust with like everyone, the creators and the users. It shows that a company is, trying to develop AI ethically and responsibly.
Okay, so what about those AI hallucinations? Is there anything we can do to make sure AI systems aren't like spreading misinformation?
That's a tough one. The whole AI industry is working on it. They're trying to make these systems more accurate, more reliable, but hallucinations, they still happen. One thing we can do is have like really strict quality control, having humans check what the AI generates, especially when it's, something sensitive or a statement of fact.
So it's not just about making AI smarter, it's about building in those safeguards, those checks and balances, like
Yeah.
double checking your work, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's about creating a culture of, transparency and accountability in AI development. If mistakes happen, companies have to be honest about it, explain how they're fixing the problem, and work hard to prevent it from happening again.
It seems like AI developers, they've got a huge responsibility here.
They definitely do. But it's not just on them. Policymakers, regulators, everyone has a role to play in making sure AI is used for good. We need like an ongoing conversation between tech people, legal experts, the whole community to figure out laws and ethical guidelines that encourage innovation but also, protect our values and our rights.
So what's next? What should we be thinking about, as AI keeps evolving?
Yeah, it's a lot to think about. I mean, we've got this amazing technology, right? Could change the world, but we're still trying to figure out how to, use it the right way, make sure it doesn't kind of backfire on us. Yeah, totally. It's like we built this powerful new tool, but we haven't quite figured out how to write the instruction manual yet.
And these lawsuits against Perplexity AI, I mean, they're kind of like um, a crash course in what happens when we, don't think things through.
Yeah, I think that's right. They highlight some of the, I guess, the biggest challenges with AI as it gets more and more a part of our lives. Like, how do we balance the need for these AI systems to learn from tons of data with, well, respecting the people who actually created that data?
Yeah, that's a hard one. And it's not just, about the legal stuff, but like being fair, giving credit to the people who actually made that content in the first place.
Absolutely. We need to find ways to make sure that everyone benefits from AI, that it's not just a tool for, the people with the most money or power.
So I guess where do we go from here? What can people listening do to, stay ahead of the curve,
Hmm.
help shape the future of AI in a good way?
Well, first, stay informed. Keep up with what's going on in AI, not just the cool new stuff, but the ethical and legal questions too. There are like tons of great resources out there online, in the news, that can, keep you up to speed.
And don't be afraid to ask questions,
Yeah.
challenge the assumptions, have those tough conversations, and make your voice heard. The future of AI isn't like set in stone. We all have a role to play in shaping it with our choices, what we do, what we talk about.
You got it. We need different perspectives, different voices at the table to make sure that AI is being developed and used in a way that benefits everybody.
Well, I think this is a good place to wrap up our look at the legal and ethical issues facing Perplexity AI. Been a really interesting conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. It's only going to get, more important as we move forward.
If you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel.